Don't throw away your cardboard rolls. After today, you will not be seeing them the same again. Hi, I'm Loli. Let's create something beautiful and find a little joy along the way. This looks like something you'll buy in a store, but it's not. To make it, I used these simple items. First, I took this wood black and I'm going to sand it to remove any imperfections. And painted it with 2 coats of full card rich black chalk paint. And I set it aside to dry. In the meantime, I'm going to take 2 of these paper rolls and I'm going to position them in a T as you see there and cut off a section to minimize the height. Then I took that edge that I have cut, the jagged edge, and I added some of my paint onto the edges of it. This is just a quick little trick so you're able to mark a circle so you have the perfect size. And using my X-Acto knife, I just carved it right out. Next, I added hot glue to the edge of the other piece of cardboard and I just put it right into that opening, making sure that it was all the way up into the other tube and that it was also nice and straight. For this step, use some finger protections. Don't burn your fingers like I did. Here, I did not center it properly, so I had to cut off a section here to make sure that everything was even. Now, we are going to go ahead and wrap this in some felt. I cut a section that was big enough to cover that top portion. Then I use hot glue to glue it, and I'm making sure that I'm gluing everything in the bottom section of this T. I repeated the same thing with the other side as well. But it's very important here that you make sure that as you're bringing in that other piece of felt that's behind there, you are doing it that in a way that is not wrinkled. And you have a perfect seamless on this end. Here you see exactly what I mean. So we don't want that pleating to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and stretch it out, making sure it's not wrinkled. Then add a tiny bit of hot glue right here at the base and tack that in and then glue on the remainder. If I have any overhang, I'm going to go ahead and trim that right off. For the edges, I'm just creating some slits on the ends, and then I'm going to come in with some hot glue and go ahead and glue them in the inside of the tube. And I did that until I went all the way around, and I repeated the same thing on the other side as well. Next, I'm going to go ahead and cover this bottom portion. I'm just going to do the same process, just lay it down and glue it on. Make sure that all your glues are in the same size. So everything is in the back. And I also sealed in the edges as I did with the other 2 edges right here. To cover the holes, I added some hot glue on the opening and then position it on top of a piece of felt. Once that was dry, I went over, took a small scissors and just cut off the excess. Of course, we're going to do that with the other side as well. And then I brought in the base and stick this onto the center using some Titebond Quick and Thick. Friends, if you're enjoying this content so far, please don't forget to hit that like button and let me know where you're watching from. I love to know how far my videos are reaching. And share, because sharing is caring and it helps my channel grow. Thank you so much. Then I took some rub and buff in the color Gold Leaf and I'm going to apply it to all the raised edges and dry brush it in the rest of the project. There were some areas in which I went a little too heavy, so I came in with some black paint and toned down those areas. Next, I took some of this floral wrap from Dollar Tree. I cut it to size and applied it to the stem using the adhesive backing it already comes with. I started with the back. I'm going to go ahead and just line it up right here. That's the same section in which I did all of the seam work. I wrapped it all the way around and then adhere it on the back as well. And it had a very slight overlap, which was perfect. You can use this to hang your bracelets, watches, or necklaces. Let me in the comment section what do you think about this one and if you plan on recreating it. Welcome. I am so glad you are here and I hope you enjoyed today's content. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This one will bring warmth to any space and it is simple and beautiful. I'm going to take 2 of those wood rounds that you see there from Plaid, 1 of these cardboard rolls, and this wrap from Dollar Tree. I'm going to start by adding some Titebond Quick and Thick to my cardboard roll. And then I'm going to line up the edge of my Birchwood paper to the edge of that glue. And I'm making sure that the top section there is flush with the paper. I do not want any overhang. Then I wrapped it all the way around the piece, cut off the excess from it, and use some Tide Bond to tack the other end as well. And make sure that this is nicely adhered and that it's seamless so it doesn't even look like there is something glued on top. And I repeated this process in the bottom section as well, making sure that it's adhered correctly also. And this came out so beautiful. It looks so seamless. And here I had a little bit of overhang, but I just cut it right off. Now we are going to go ahead and take 2 of these wood rounds. I'm going to position one on the top and one on the bottom. And to adhere them together, I'm using again some Tide Bond, quick and thick. I'm adding a generous amount to the edge as here, position it onto the middle of the wood round, and then I added some of the same Tide Bond, quick and thick, right on the top section of the piece of cardboard roll here. And I'm going to invert it because it's easier this way for me to center it onto the other wood round. Then I added some weight on top of it and let it sit for about 30 minutes. Next, I'm going to take this hurricane base that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to add some Epsom salt to the inside of it and then position also some pine cones inside of it as well. Then I added a beautiful little tea-light candle to it. And just like that, this is done. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this one and if you plan on recreating it. And hold on for the next one. It is so cute as well. You will never guess what this was made from. For this project, I'll be using some of these wood rounds, this cardboard roll, and some of this tape that I got from the Dollar Tree. We took one of each of the rolls and I'm going to paint them with some of this Waverly Seriously Gray chalk paint. And now I'm going to take this wrap that I got from Dollar Tree and I'm going to wrap the cardboard roll with it. To adhere it, I'm using some of this Tide Bond, quick and thick. I lined up the edge of the wrap here or ribbon from Dollar Tree and I'm making sure that it's adhered nice and flat and I'm just making sure to smooth out the edges. Then I rolled it on the entire cardboard roll, then I'm cutting off the excess and I'm going to add a little bit of the same Tide Bond, quick and thick to the end of the paper and tack it down and make sure that it's nice and smooth and seamless as I'm doing this. Then I took a little bit of hot glue and I'm going to add it on the edges of the tube here where the paper kind of overhanged, and then I'm going to press it down into the tube and I did it until the entire piece was tucked in under, and I did the same thing with the other side as well. Next, I'm adhering the tube to the wood rounds, and to do that, I'm using some of the Tide Bond, quick and thick. I'm adding it to the edge as you see there, and then position it in the middle of the wood round. Then I added some of the glue to the top section here, and I'm going to go ahead and position this piece onto the other wood round. Then I took some weight and put it over this. I used some of my paint bottles. I used 2 of them and let this sit for about a half an hour. I took one of these small hurricane bases from Dollar Tree and I'm going to position it on top of my little riser. I'm going to add some of this sea salt, some Epsom salt to the container. Then I'm going to add a small tea light candle from Dollar Tree and I'm going to kind of bury it in there. And I thought this was so beautiful. It looked like the fire's coming from it. That is it. Look at it. Tell me in the comment section what do you think. It is just so elegant yet so simple. Are you planning on recreating this one? If you do, let me know in the comment section below. These napkin rings are simple but very versatile. I style mine for winter, but you can make them for any occasion. I took this thick cardboard roll and I'm going to cut it into small sections. I'm going to cut them in sections at about 1 inch. And to do so, I'm using my X-Acto knife. I'm just going to pour it in and start cutting until I go all the way around. And I repeated this 4 times. Next, I took my sip sander and I'm going to sand off all of the edges to make sure that everything is level and is smooth. And I did it to all 4 pieces. Now we're going to wrap them in some of this yarn from Dollar Tree. I'm going to just pull off a generous amount of it and cut it. That way it will be easier for me to wrap these pieces. I added a small amount of hot glue to the inside of the ring and positioned the end of my yarn right on there. Then I balled up the remaining of the yarn so I will be able to fit into the hole. And I just kept wrapping and wrapping, keeping those threads closely together. until I went all the way around the entire ring. Then here in the inside of the ring, I added a small amount of hot glue onto the yarn, glued the remaining tail, and cut off the excess. And we're repeating the same process with the other 4 pieces as well. And now it's time to embellish them. I use some snowflakes, but these are versatile. You can use whatever you like for any season or for everyday decor. I'm just adding some hot glue to the center of each one of my snowflakes. These came from Hobby Lobby, by the way. And we're going to glue them to the front of each one of my rings. I wanted these to have a rustic feel, so I took these pine cones that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue them on the center of each one of the snowflakes. Some were not sitting straight, so I just cut off this little piece here at the bottom, and that way I was able to glue them nice and flush. Once I had all 4 with the pine cones, I'm going to go ahead and take some of this greenery that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take small pieces from each one of the sections here and add them on the sides of the snowflake. I'm going to just tuck them underneath right here after adding a small amount of hot glue to them. And I'm making sure that the cutest side of the greenery is towards the top. Then I cut a different section on there and did the same thing on the other side. And look how cute this is looking. I did this 3 more times. And just like that, this is done. Let me know which one of these is your favorite. And there are 2 different kinds here, so tell me which one you prefer. The one with this snowflake, which looks magical, or if you prefer this one right here. Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's episode, here are a couple more videos you are sure to enjoy. Thank you so much for stopping by. You're amazing. Bye.